Hello everyone, this talk is about Kubernetes because we are all trying to get there in one way or another, but more about what happens once we are there. Is there something else we can aspire to? And let's just have a thought experiment that we are there already. You make your Git commit, you push it to GitHub, there is a webhook coming out on the other end, and your automation system picks it up, it deploys to Kubernetes, the sort of CD, continuous delivery dream that you're all familiar with. And you also roll that kubectl to your team, the command line interface, to do some ad hoc stuff. And the problem is that kubectl, although it's very powerful, it's in some cases very quirky. And in the following slide, you will see, for example, on the bottom, like this is how you change a namespace with kubectl. It's kind of a complex command if you have to do it 20 times a day, and you suddenly just stop doing that maybe. And on last KubeCon, Kelsey Hightower also said that maybe kubectl is the new SSH. And from your virtual machine experience, you know sort of that if you have to SSH into a node, you know something is broken. So use kubectl with care because tooling is very important in your workflow. If something is painful, you try to avoid it, you try to stuff it into a ticket, and everything slows down and it's going to be a drag, basically. So this is how tooling shapes your culture, but also it works the other way around as well. So we were thinking with my current client at Karno Group that how can we aid this workflow with kubectl, and we come up with a tool called Jinborov Karnovski, which we use in unison with kubectl. It's basically a wrapper on top of kubectl, making certain things easier. You ask, like, Jinborov who? Like this guy. He's an 80s arcade action figure, and his full name is Jinborov Karnovski, but Karno for short, and you make the connection why we picked this guy. I work for Karno Group right now. He also has an interesting background. He's a fire-breathing East Russian ex-circus strongman. He's quite a funny character, and we love working with him as a pseudo-automation person for our deployment. And we also made this tool open source on GitHub. We took the common part and we put it on GitHub so other people can maybe use it. And we have our own internal fork where all the company-specific behavior is defined. And I'm going to show you the internal stuff. There are simple commands like Jinborov logs, which opens a browser tab on the aggregated logging panel with your current project, or Jinborov repo, which opens the same thing on GitHub. So just simple speed-ups in your workflow. But also this long command from kubectl became this short one, Jinborov namespace my product. This is how you jump between namespaces with Jinborov. And the next one is Jinborov review app create, which is one of my favorite. Imagine you are working on a feature branch, you are in your console and you want to launch this application with the current feature branch on myproduct-mybranch, mycompany.com. It's an internal URL where everybody can look at the app while it's being worked on. It's open source, it's written in Golang, and it compiled to a single binary. It makes it very easy to distribute with the team. And it's also built on top of a very widely used framework in Go called Cobra, which is powering the command line behavior of the Docker CLI or the kubectl CLI or etcd, or you can name a few. If you like those, you will like Jinborov as well. It's very easy to extend Jinborov. It has tab completion and scaffolding support, which means you can package in certain bootstrapped versions of like a Jenkins file or your Kubernetes YAMLs or a Docker file, so people who start a new project can easily bootstrap their project and can launch on the cluster. Because tooling is important. If I name a few tools, you suddenly start thinking of certain cultures as well. If I say Trello, you think one kind of a culture. If I say Slack, you maybe think something else, or Jira, you think something else as well. And Kubernetes is very good on the tooling side, and it's very easy to extend further. Just like Jinborov, you can think of CRDs, custom resource definitions in Kubernetes. kubectl get pods, if you type that, the pod part is a resource, and you can define your own resource type if you want to, just like Jenkins X is probably doing. So Kubernetes is not the end game, because a lot of things come for free. You can aspire to do a little bit more on top of that. You can have a personalized company experience, not just the vanilla experience. So this tool is on GitHub right now, and you can get it, you can pull it. But if you do, please drop me a line, because I love to hear how you like it. That's it. Thank you.